Gunfreak Nation, my heart is heavy right now. I'm pretty sure y'all heard of the death of Roger Fortson. You know, he was a United States airman. You know, rest in peace to him. You know, people like him are heroes to me because they put their life on the line. You know, I thank you for your service. It's hard to take in how you left this earth. You know, you were a law-abiding citizen. You legally owned your firearms, and you know you died because you simply opened your door and you had your firearm in your hand to your side. Finger wasn't even on the trigger. And I saw the video where you had your hand like this. When you realized it was a sheriff officer, you put your hand like this and you had your firearm down. He didn't even give you a chance to drop your gun. He didn't give you a chance to even drop your gun. He didn't even tell you to drop your gun. He shot first. He was one of those type of cops that shoot first and ask questions later. This one, in life, you have tragic events, man, where everything just line up to be a disaster. When the cop first arrived at his apartment, by the way, somebody in that apartment complex, complained. They called and reported some type of domestic violence or argument. I don't know. They say that the cops was told the wrong information. They went to the apartment number, the address that they were told to go to. But who's to say that the person that reported that particular apartment had the right address? He was FaceTiming with his girlfriend at the time when that went down, when he lost his life. This takes me back to the shooting in Texas. What was his name? Bothan James, who lost his life. He was eating ice cream in his own apartment. He didn't lock his door, and the female cop, got his apartment mistaken for hers and thought he was a intruder, that he had broken her apartment, killed the man. Tragic, man. I'm looking at it from I try to be fair and look at it from both perspectives. When that cop arrived at this brother's apartment, he knocked on the door. He didn't announce himself, number one. He did not announce himself the first time when he knocked at Roger Fortson's apartment. Okay? When he knocked the first time, he moved off to the side. Police are trained never stand in front of a door when they engaging with someone, or when they're knocking on the door, they move to the side because they don't want anybody shooting through the door to shoot them. So they have been trained, like when you knocking on a door, they move to the side. Okay? So When he knocked on the door the first time, he did not announce himself as being a sheriff. Okay? He did not announce himself as being a sheriff, but he moved to the side. So he knocked again and announced that he was a sheriff, but he also moved to the side. Now, everybody know that in some situations, you got the criminals, the savages, they will say that they're the police to try to throw you off. And a lot of people have been, have had home invasions happen to them when you got armed intruders, savages, breaking up in your house, and when they're kicking in your door, they are saying that they are the police to throw you off. It happens. So I'm looking at it. I'm trying my best to look at it from both perspectives. Here you go. You got a cop. By the way, when police are sent out on a domestic call, those are, amongst the police community are the most dangerous call you can go on. Being a police officer is a domestic violence call. Those are they potentially be the most dangerous calls you can go out on a domestic violence call, right? So you have to look at it from his perspective. He's been called for some type of domestic situation that's going on at this particular apartment. So he's expecting some type of, violence or something that's going to happen. That's his mindset already. That's what he's been told, what he's about to go into. So he's being safe himself. All right? So when you look at that from that perspective, when you look at it from the brother, Roger Fortson, somebody is knocking on your door, you looking through your peephole, you don't see anybody. So then, you hear another knock, you don't see anybody, you're going to do what anybody else would do if you armed. You're going to go get your firearm. You're going to get your firearm just in case it's some savages, some foul play, some savages at your door. That's common sense to do that. You would be a fool if somebody knocking at your door and you looking through your peephole and you don't see nobody, and then they knock again and you look through your peephole, you don't see anybody. You're going to be wary of that. And you would be a damn fool if you do not arm yourself. So, you got a cop on one end, on literally on the other side of the door, that think he's going to some type of domestic violence or domestic dispute call, right? On the other end, you got somebody that don't know what the hell going on, and somebody knocking on your door, and you don't see him when you look through your peephole. And by the way, he's a airman, so he is trained. He probably ain't no problem. He more trained than the sheriff officer. All right. So when you got the cop and you got the airman, and they meet up, he opens the door with his gun down to his side, finger off the trigger. When he realizes it's a sheriff officer, he holds his hand up like that. Like, roll, roll, roll. The cops say, step out. When the cop see the gun in his hand, he don't say put it down. He don't say, he just automatically just unloads on him, shoots him 6 times. That's a situation where you had a cop that no matter what the circumstances, he's going to shoot first and ask questions later. I get it. Police want to make it back home to their families, man. It some way, somehow, man, somebody, a lot of people want to bring race into it. I don't know what the outcome would have been if Roger, Fortson would have been a white man. If it, I don't know. It probably would have ended up being the same result because the cop saw the gun in his hand. Some kind of way, a lot of people saying, well, because he's a black man, and a gun is more, dangerous or whatever. I don't know. I don't have the answer to that question, man. All I know is that it's tragic, and the cop should have been like, drop the gun. Drop the gun should have been his first command. Drop the gun. The cop did not give him a chance to drop the gun. The guy, after he was shot, laying on the ground, on his floor, he was still complying with the officer. The officer said, toss the gun. He was like, the gun is out of my hand. It's gone. Don't move, don't move. It was just sickening and disturbing to watch. And I don't know, I can't tell a person how to react. We don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like, anytime when you encounter law enforcement, you don't know. It's like a box of chocolates. You don't know what type of cop you're going to get. You just don't know. You may get an asshole. You might get a cool cop. This cop was one of the ones that he already made it up in his mind that if he sees somebody with a gun in their hand, he's going to open up, he's going to shoot them, he's going to shoot first and ask questions later. He's going to kill you. And that's exactly what happened. All he needed to see was that gun, and that was enough justification for what he did. In my opinion, in my personal, humble opinion, I think that it was a bad shoot. The cop made a bad call. A lot of people may disagree with me, but I just felt like when he opened the door, I believe the cop should have just said, drop your gun. Drop your gun. Drop the gun. And I believe that Mr. Fortson, which he was only 23 years old, I believe he would have dropped the gun. He had no reason to raise the gun. Once when he realized it was a police officer, he threw his hand up like that. Just like that. He had the gun just like this to his side. Like that. Just like that to his side. And he had one hand up like that. And he just, the cop really didn't even give him a chance to even, drop the gun, all I want to say is this. I feel like in a situation like this, you need some type of camera system in your house. I would even suggest the Ring doorbell. All right? The Ring doorbell. If he could have seen, if he would have had some type of camera or a Ring doorbell, he could have easily picked up his phone and saw who was outside his door, and it would have, it wouldn't have been an issue when it came to what, the tragedy that what happened, because you got eyes on what's going on in front of your door, around your perimeter. The Ring doorbell would have picked it up. I have Ring doorbells as well as cameras at my house. You need some type of surveillance system, and that whole situation would have never escalated to that point. I've brought my weapon to the door many times when I think it was something suspicious happening. It's my right. I have a right to protect my castle. I have a right to protect my home. I have a Second Amendment right to do that. Roger didn't do anything wrong. He didn't do anything wrong, you know? He answered the door, he opened the door. The officer was already amped up. Sheriff officer, open the door, open the door. You know, just commanded him to do that, which he didn't have to do. And like I said, nowadays you don't know who is who. You got robbers, intruders, home invasions, savages that will fake like they cop to gain access to your house, to throw you off. You know, it's just, all I'm saying, get some type of surveillance camera, get the Ring. It's affordable. With the Ring, you got night vision on it where you can see in the dark. You got it's an intercom where you can talk to the person, you know, through a two-way like intercom. It's got motion detection where anybody that penetrate the parameter, anybody go through that parameter, is gonna set your Ring. You're gonna get a notification. It's gonna set your chime off. It's gonna, you know, you just know it's everything. It's a everything in one system. You know, from being a motion detector, night vision. You can talk to people through it like an intercom, and you got your regular camera that you can, you know, watch in real time. I feel like if he would have had that for his doorbell, he would have saw what was going on. But if you ask me, I feel like it was a bad shoot. If you ask me, I feel like he should at least have said, put the gun down, drop the gun, drop the gun. He did not say it. As soon as he opened the door, as soon as the officer saw the gun, he just opened fire. And, you know, it's so tragic and sad, man. 23-year-old hero, gunned down. He didn't die on the battlefield, man. He died in his apartment at the hands of an officer, a police officer, man. So, yeah, rest up, you know, Airman, you know, Roger. I'm so, woo. Rest in peace, Roger Fortson, man. Rest in peace. This is a tough one right here. This is a tough one. You know, Gunfreak Nation, listen. Take care of yourselves, your loved ones. Stay safe. Stay savage ready. Stay armed. Stay responsible with your firearms. Stay righteous. And be ready to send those savages to Funky Town, man. And just be careful. Be careful. You know, like I said before, I've answered the door. At one point when the ATF came to my house, because it was a situation that a gun was stolen that I sold. I had a firearm. Let me get to this right quick. I had a firearm that I sold to a gun shop who in turn, after they bought it from me, sold it to somebody else. The person that they sold it to, it got stolen from them. So the ATF, they want to do, they want to backtrack, you know, connect all of the dots, find out that I was the original owner. I bought the gun from Freedom Holsters, from my brother Spencer at Freedom Holsters. So they just want to see the paperwork that I was the original owner and stuff, and, you know, and where I sold it to Point Blank gun shop, and then Point Blank, whoever they sold it to, they claimed that the gun got sold. So they was just coming to connect the dots. But when I saw suspicious people, I had my Glock on me. But as soon as I'm fortunate. I got video. I got a peephole. I got another window on my door. And then I got two giant, picture windows so I can see who it was. So once when I realized who it really was, hell, man, I put my gun up. I put it up. I wasn't going to knowingly open the door with my gun in my hand, because you just never know what type of law enforcement that you're going to get. You feel me? It's your every right to have your gun wherever you want to have it. You know, we got open carry here in Michigan, but it's just certain things you just don't do. You know what I'm saying? You just don't do, because you don't know how the other person going to react. That's all I'm saying. So I put it up, opened the door. They turned out to be cool people, you know? So y'all just stay safe out there, man. We living in a crazy world, man, and it's getting crazier every day that go by. So, you know, just stay armed and stay responsible with your firearms. Stay righteous and be ready at all times to send them demonic savages to Funky Town. Love you, Gunfreaknation Salute. And rest in peace. Rest in peace to that brother. Rest in peace to Roger. Rest in peace. I love y'all, Gunfreaknation Salute.